On this week's show, we hit the hardwood with updates on two former Flames, what's next for Darius McGee, and where in the world is Scottie James playing.
Plus, Kendi Charles joins us to talk Liberty football and his unique hobby off the gridiron. It's Flames Central, and it starts now.
Welcome into the award-winning Flame Central television show. More on that in just a bit. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. Alongside Emily Austin, I'm Matt Warner.
Despite the fact that it's summertime, there's still plenty of fireworks going off throughout Liberty Athletics. But when there's a story involving one of the Flames' all-time great athletes, that's where you have to start the show.
Yeah, Darius McGee, Liberty basketball's all-time leading scorer, had hoped to hear his name called in last week's NBA draft. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. That doesn't mean his NBA opportunity has come to an end. In the wake of the draft, it was announced that McGee has signed a summer league deal with the Indiana Pacers. That means the former Flame will get the chance to play with the Pacers draft picks and other free agent signees in the NBA's Las Vegas Summer League from July 8th through the 17th. It's a great chance for McGee to show the Indiana staff what he can do, and at the same time, audition for any other organization that might have need of his services. McGee finished his career as one of the greatest three-point shooters in NCAA history and hopes to become the fourth Flame to ever make an active NBA roster. Well, last week also featured some news involving the current Flames squad. Liberty announced a great non-conference matchup slated for November 10th. The Flames will take on the Charlotte 49ers at the Spectrum Center in Charlotte. It's all part of the He Gets Us 2023 Hall of Fame series. This game is part of a triple header that includes Virginia facing Florida and Virginia Tech squaring off with South Carolina.
We'll stay on the hardwood for our next feature, but I promise it'll take you all around the world. If you know anything about former Flame Scottie James, you know he loves the Lord, he loves his family, and he loves basketball. Today, as he continues to live out his childhood dream of playing professional basketball, he's realized how important it is to have family and faith in front when he's faced with challenges on the court.
So I don't remember the play, so I'll tell you off of the video that I saw. One of my players poked out the ball, and I picked it up on the break, took a couple dribbles, and went up and dunked it. I was swinging forward and kind of got undercut a little bit, and then fell basically backwards, landed on my face and kind of, I guess, scorpioned. I've dunked the ball like that probably 1,000 times in my life and never done anything like that, you know? So I think for me, it definitely gives some perspective on how fragile life is. Remember how to do it? Remember you put the ball, oh.
Literally, my favorite thing in the entire world is seeing him as a dad. Basketball and everything aside, like, he's the best dad.
Former Liberty basketball player Scottie James and his wife Delaney have been together since 8th grade.
He was like the new kid at the school. I had gone to the same school my entire life, and we didn't really have many new kids come in.
I actually walked in, I had met everybody in my class except for one girl, and I saw her, and I was like, oh, I hope this is the other girl, because she's like super, super cute.
Very tall, handsome, and I was like, okay, I think I might finally have a guy that I like.
And then I guess the rest of that is kind of history.
To say the least, today they're married in a family of 4. But when you look back to those early dating days, one thing that hasn't changed is Scottie's love for basketball.
I never really had that like love of sports, and so it was kind of inspiring, I guess, to see somebody's like passion for a game.
It's always been like my dream and stuff to play professional basketball, and she always knew that and stuff.
I knew that depending on where our relationship took us, that could be in my future for a long time.
And the sport would take them on quite the journey. After graduating from Liberty University, Scottie would begin his professional playing career in Germany, which is where his family would grow for the first time.
She flew over like 34 weeks pregnant, I had the baby in October, like right when the season was starting, ready to go in. First year being married, and then boom, going overseas, having a baby, and yeah.
It would be a unique start to a new chapter for the James family, but they would embrace the experience. The following season, Scottie would briefly play in Israel. Before landing an unlikely opportunity in October of 2022 with the Tianjin Pioneers of the Chinese Basketball Association. All would be well until about 6 months later, when Scottie would experience that scary moment on the court.
I was unconscious for about an hour, woke up in the hospital, had 25 stitches in my face, had one of my, actually this fake tooth right here was broken half, broken nose, was in the hospital for 8 days.
And during this time, Scottie would be alone without his wife or family as the COVID restrictions were still in place in China.
I remember he called me and he said that he was in a doctor's office, and I was just like, are you in the hospital? Why would you be calling me in the middle of your game if you're just no? I was very scared. I didn't know what the outcome was gonna be. I didn't know if he had any long-term injuries.
During this time of unknown and recovery, the couple turned to God for strength.
God was definitely looking out. I didn't have any serious neck or back injuries, which definitely should have been a lot more serious of injuries, just based off of what I can expect, and also just talking with different doctors, and all the tests came back and they were good. So I just had some bruising on my brain at the time. That's pretty much all healed up now.
I think that our faith has been the only constant. I mean, languages aside, scenery, all those things can change, and the fact that we can always come back to our faith and our trust that God has the whole picture, God knows what's best. So I think trusting in that is the most important thing for us.
Thankfully, Scottie would make a full recovery and would be cleared to get back on the hardwood. Today, he brings a new appreciation to the court, grateful to continue to play the game he loves and live out his dream of playing professional basketball. In June of 2023, he would sign his second contract with Tianjin and plans to head back to China for his second season with the Pioneers. But this time, when he goes back overseas, he plans to bring his girls with him.
Being overseas and that adjustment every single season is always difficult, but it's taught me that he is home to me, and no matter what we're doing, no matter where we are, the most important thing is being together. I don't care where this journey takes us, being with you is the only thing that matters. And coming out stronger, I feel like we definitely have, and I'm really grateful for that.
Well, great job producing that piece, Emily. I mean, every time I see that highlight of him going down basically on his face, I cringe.
The scorpion.
It's amazing he can walk. It's amazing he can still play basketball. I mean, you talk about God protecting him. It's unbelievable that essentially he kind of walked away from that situation without severe injury.
Yeah, and I think about his wife and really all of his family having to be back here in the States when he's in China. What a helpless situation. It just proves that they have to have faith and like I said, family in the forefront of these relationships to keep it solid and get through something like that.
Well, best of luck to him as he returns to China for the next season. All right, we turn now to field hockey. Liberty has established itself as one of the best programs in the country in recent season, and now their players are getting national recognition. Bethany Dykema, Reagan Underwood, and Gianna Miller have been invited to the 2023 Senior Nexus Championship in Virginia Beach from July 11th through the 16th. This event features 144 of the most elite field hockey players in the country and is a step along the Olympic Development Pathway program. Quite the honor for this Liberty trio.
We are roughly 60 days, 12 hours, and about 20 minutes from kicking off the Liberty football season, but who's counting? Can you tell we're super pumped about the fall? So to cure our craziness and our need for football in the summer, we had D-lineman Kendi Charles on the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage, and asked him about the recent coaching change that kept him on the mountain.
What went into your decision to stay here at Liberty? You said you wanted to be here. You wanted to be here. What went into your decision?
Yeah, when I got blocking out all the distractions,
Right.
just like people, what they're saying or what's best for me. So at the end of the day, I just had to think for myself. And like, honestly, I just felt like Liberty was my home, and this way I could be my best and play my best. And it just, in a way, it was just the best place for me. Like, it's hard to explain how I was feeling in the moment, but Coach Chowa coming into the program definitely helped me staying here. But like, I didn't want to leave at all for some reason. Like, everybody had an opinion of thinking I should have left, but I feel like Liberty is where I need to be. Yeah.
Such a great, mature leader for this team, and more specifically, this D-line, which, if you want to hear more about Kenny's breakdown of those guys in the trenches, listen to the entire episode, the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. It's the best thing since sliced bread. You can also watch the podcast on our YouTube channel as well.
Well, you just heard part of our interview with Kenny Charles. One thing we brought up during our time with him was his love for sewing. That's right, the big fella likes to sew. How he got into it, why he loves it, they're all part of this week's Out of the Office.
As a big guy, it's so hard to find stuff that fits you. The only sound I can hear is the sound of the sewing machine going, and it's peaceful, you know? The minute it started, my heart started beating, you know, I get really excited. Like, the minute I start pressing and I start sewing, I get really excited because I know at the end, it will be something I love and appreciate, you know? And only me, I will have that. I got into it as a way to like stop thinking about football while I was injured. It's just a different outlet to bring kind of peace of mind to myself. I just went on YouTube and searched how to sew and like different ways and like different hiccups you're gonna have when you sew. And at first, I struggled. Like with anything you do in life, you're gonna struggle. I think I was natural at it. It's crazy how God works, you know? I told my dad I started sewing. He told me, you know, the crazy thing, I used to sew. That's what I used to do for a living before you was born. So I think it's just in my blood, honestly.
Just where I wanted it. Be good.
What makes a good sewer, you have to be patient and enjoy the process, basically. You can't rush it, you know? Sometimes when I first started, I would, like, cause I'm a big guy, like I'm aggressive, so I would pull my fabric a little too hard and my needle would break, you know? So I had to learn how, like, different fabric, I have to be patient with it, you know, go slow. And it teaches you a lot of life lessons. Take your time, it's not a race. Be precise with everything that you do in life, you know? Knowing what you're going to do before you do it. With sewing, if you going as you go, you can't do that. And like for me playing D-line, before like the ball snap, I already know what move I'm going to use, you know, what I'm going to do this play. And sewing is like, it's kind of like that, having an idea of how you want the end product to be, you know? Like if you have a bad play this one, flush it. You get a brand new play. Do what you have to do. It's like with the same thing with sewing. If you mess up, you just happily forget about it and go into the next piece and just keep working. Final part of success when I sew is just when I go into the locker room and the guys just ask me where you get that from. You know, I'll be like, I made it.
That's it. Coming up, he's one of the greatest athletes in Liberty history. But see why Sam Chilenga walked away from his running career to serve his adopted country.
Plus, it's award season, and we have some great news to share. That's all when Flame Central returns.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do. And getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books. And an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
So you're looking for a university that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
Somewhere you can hike, slide, climb, and most importantly, eat. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
Hey, welcome back to the show. You know, we here at Flame Central get to highlight countless Liberty sports teams that year in, year out bring home the hardware.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we're no different. How about this, huh?
Absolutely. Our department made some history at the 65th Capitol Emmy Awards, bringing home a record 6 of these beautiful trophies. That's the most ever for us here at Liberty.
Yeah, let's take a look at the individuals and categories that won. First things first, Flame Central. Yes, this show, it won an Emmy for sports program post-produced or edited. Of course, so many people behind the scenes to thank for that incredible honor.
Yeah, also John Pratt took home an Emmy in military short-form content. We'll see more of that feature in just a moment. Save some for the rest of us. Colin Eckerfe leaving the show scene double with 2 wins from these features. BYU Vision Realize and Welcome Coach Chadwell, and a huge congrats to our incredibly talented graphics designer, Austin Reddington, and say it louder for Alex Short in audio.
Congrats to all of our team once again. Well, as Emily just mentioned, one of the features that won an Emmy is about Sam Chalenga, a former national champion Liberty runner who in recent years decided to join the U.S. Army.
That's right. As we celebrate our country this 4th of July season, we also want to celebrate those like Sam who fight for it. Here now is his story, produced by John Pratt.
I tell people I'm not special. Everybody has the greatness inside of them. All you need to do is find that vibe. And I think God is that vibe. You just gotta follow His will, and It'll take you where you need to go.
Sam Chalenga has been running for most of his life.
To be honest with you, I love running.
Born in Kenya, his gift as a runner brought him to the U.S., where Sam ran his way into the record books at Liberty University.
Chalenga holding on well here.
It was there he won 4 Division I national titles and 9 conference titles.
Sam Chalenga is now a national champion.
After graduating, he became a naturalized U.S. citizen and ran professionally for Nike. But at the height of his career, Sam changed course and quit running.
I was done. I retired.
And enlisted in the U.S. Army.
I'm proud to be American, and I'm truly blessed to be here, and I see the opportunities, and so it's been something that really I wanted to give something back
First Lieutenant Sam Chalenga is now a logistics officer and commands a platoon of soldiers that depend on his leadership.
It's a big responsibility and it's real. I don't want to say out there in my job as a runner was not real. It was real. Idealistically, it's something that we know we do for entertainment.
Stay behind, boys, stay behind.
There's a lot at stake here. You know, our families, our freedom, everything. So that's something, every day you go, you have that on your shoulders. I mean, I think about all those things. I want to make the best decisions for my guys at every level, the best I can. Look, we could deploy tomorrow. We know a lot of people that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. And every day we go to training, I'm not just training because it's just like a workout. We have to do everything we can to make sure that we are ready and at the same time make sure we defend our country.
The transition from full-time runner to full-time soldier wasn't easy, and early on, Sam had his doubts.
Am I an idiot for like leaving my nice job to go do this? But honestly, it's been 4 years, almost 5 since I did that, and I'll tell you this, I'm super thankful. It was the best decision I've ever made.
But one day, in the middle of all the training exercises and briefings, Sam felt a calling to do something he once gave up.
It just happened that I'm good at it, so it brought me back.
Sam started running again, competitively, this time under the U.S. Army's World-Class Athlete Program. A program that allows elite soldier athletes to train and compete with the hopes of representing the U.S. around the world.
Our main goal is to try and make the World Championship and the Olympic team. That's our goal.
Sam now splits his time between training for the race and training for battle.
It's been everything. If my family weren't on board, I wouldn't do it. Faith has been everything to me. Half of the time, I don't even know what's going on. Like if I knew 20% of what I was doing like to the T, and then I'll be like a different man. But no, I don't know, so I go by faith. But one thing that I do know is I believe that God never wanted me or anybody else to settle. He wants to always keep challenging us. I look at my journey and I was like, hey, if he can bring me this far, I'm sure everybody else can go this far.
Sam Chalenga, he's gonna break the tape.
I didn't know where America was. And look, I came here and I find a purpose in a totally different country.
He shatters the course record.
You don't need to know where you go. God is real, he will guide you. I'm gonna keep going until God says no.
Still to come, are you hungry? You will be after seeing our next story about a Liberty football alum. That's all when Flame Central returns.
At the fence, leaping! Wow!
The 5, pylon, he's in.
Welcome back to Flame Central. You know, campus is pretty quiet during this summer, but the good thing is it allows us to hit the road and catch up with some of those former athletes and coaches.
Yeah, and it's even better when those features are about food. After graduating, former LU lineman Nate Pena opened up a sandwich shop in North Carolina with a Liberty twist. And take my word for it, this kid knows what he's doing.
I'm Nate Pena, former offensive lineman at Liberty University, and this is Lil Poppy's International Deli. Offensive linemen know how to eat. And I've seen some pretty tall tasks taken down by offensive linemen at Liberty. I got to college and I started cooking for the guys. I would go and look at like the Food Line weekly deals, and like I was like, oh, okay, they got New York strip steaks for $7.99, $6.99. I was like, let me take a screenshot, send it to the guys. Who wants a steak like this weekend or whatever? 9 times out of 10, everybody would text, yes. I'll go in the mornings, I'll grab the steaks, season them all day. Yeah, this is the green Peruvian sauce. When I tell you it goes on everything, it goes on everything I eat. And then the next day, I would cook them for them. There's nothing out of this world, but to young guys that can't cook, I'm a cuisine chef. A sandwich shop wasn't really in the dreams, but just cooking for people was. My redshirt sophomore year, this space came available, so my dad, he was like, Nate, I know you love to cook. What about if we start playing with the idea of opening up like a place for you? So I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Everybody likes to eat sandwiches, so let's do that, but let's do like our own little spin on them. What about if we do sandwiches from like different places like around the world? They're like, what would you call it? And I was like, well, what about Little Poppy's? Because that was my nickname when I was a kid. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Creating the menu was definitely fun. I mean, all the numbers that you see up there, they're all after guys on the team. Number 81, that's for Noah Frith. 35, Tyron Dupree. Number 7, Malik. There's always fun like adding a new sandwich because then I can add one of my friends' numbers to the menu. I mean, I owe Liberty a great deal of my thanks, and I wouldn't change anything for the world. That was truly a good 4 years. My favorite one is the number 12, the Peruvian Delight, or the number 81, the Buenos Aires. I've learned that like a lot of people, they use food as like their comfort and to get away from their life struggles and stuff, and being able to like even give that person even like a fraction of happiness when they taste my food, like that's what brings me like joy, and seeing people's faces like when they eat. I like being able to give people like just like a little bit of happiness, even if it's just for that 5-10 minutes that they take and eat. That's 5-10 minutes of their day that's a little better.
Concord, North Carolina, trust me, that food is legit.
It looks delicious. Got to get there. Okay, make sure you download and subscribe to the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage.
You go to libertyflamecentral.com for any stories you might have missed. For Emily, I'm Matt. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here next week.